Been talking about the second stage of healthy conception, and that is the egg maturation stage. And what I want to talk with you about today is the experience of not being able to get pregnant and or not being able to stay pregnant. So first of all, we have to start by just acknowledging how difficult it is to have this experience your whole life. If you're female and you identify as female, you've been told that you should, number one, make sure you don't get pregnant without meaning to, right? And number two, that when you're ready to get pregnant, your fertility will just be there for you. It will just work for you, and having a baby will be the most natural thing that you've ever done, because that's exactly what a woman's body is designed to do. And then you get to the place in your life where you're ready to have a baby. And then you're shocked to find out that, oh my gosh, maybe this isn't as easy as everyone says it is. Like, just because something is natural doesn't mean it will happen naturally. Just because something is natural doesn't mean that it will be easy. But nobody warned you that this could be a possibility. Or maybe you're on the other end of the spectrum, which is something that I'm actually seeing more and more lately. The other end of the emotional spectrum, which is women who have this sense that they're going to have trouble getting pregnant, and they have a lot of anxiety around it. And because of that, they know that they have this hunch that they better start trying earlier, or when they're ready to start trying, they go into trying with a lot of trepidation and a lot of anxiety. And it's almost like it just continues to play out that way, and the anxiety just grows and escalates. And I really believe that we know best. We are the mama bears, whether we've had our super babies yet or not, whether our super babies are still inside of us, inside of our ovaries as the immature eggs suspended in follicles. They're with us, and we have instincts. And so some people might say that if you're listening to me, if you can hear my voice right now and you hear yourself on the other end of the spectrum, which is you've always had this almost unrealistic level size worry, that I don't unrealistic isn't the word that I'm looking for, but an almost odd worry that it will be hard for you to get pregnant, and now you're ready to have a baby and you've been trying and it turns out that it has been hard for you. Some people might say, well, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and perhaps there is an effect of self-fulfilling prophecy at work, right? The nocebo effect and placebo effect. I mean, these are real things. But I also think that as women, as the mamas, as the mama bears, we have a sense. And so maybe you had this fear that seemed so big and out of nowhere and unrealistic, because there was a part of you that knew that there was something going on. And so maybe you're experiencing what you deep down have known or suspected all along. Wherever you are on that spectrum, where whether you've had a worry all along or you feel so betrayed by your body and by society because you feel so blindsided by the fact that you're struggling. It is just so painful to arrive at a place in life where you're so ready to be a mama and you're struggling to be a mama, whether it's struggling to get pregnant in the first place, or not being able to get pregnant but not staying pregnant, or maybe you get pregnant and miscarry or have losses and then go long stretches without getting pregnant again. And I I'm going to come back and see you next Thursday. I'll be here there's a very specific time. Let me tell you what it is, because I don't remember off the top of my head. And I want to talk about the instances in which we have a lot of examples in the world of women who either made a deliberate choice not to have children and then openly, publicly talked about regretting that decision later on in life, or women who weren't able to get pregnant, who for whom that pain has not gone away. But I deeply believe, and we'll talk about this next week at 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific time next Thursday. That's the 15th, February 15th. But what I want to say to you today is that for the vast majority of people, no matter how long and how hard you've struggled, getting pregnant and staying pregnant and having your super baby is still possible for you. And one of the things that I kind of want to go back to basics when we talk about egg maturation, because I think it's easy for me to forget because I think about and talk about this area all day long, every day. I live and breathe this stuff. It's easy for me to forget that not everybody knows this one thing that I want to make sure that you know today, which is that whether you've experienced miscarriage, you've experienced difficulty getting pregnant naturally, you've experienced failed IVF, all of those experiences share one root cause in common. And that root cause is abnormality. So let me say that again. We're going back to basics, and we're talking about the second stage of the 13 stages of healthy conception. The first one is the antral follicle stage. We're in stage 2, which is egg maturation. And we're going to come back to egg maturation in just a second. But let's start at the top where you can see the symptom, you can see the experience. And the symptom, the experience is whether you've miscarried, whether you're not getting pregnant in the first place, or you've had failed IVF or IUI. At the root of those three experiences is one thing, and it's abnormality. And why do I say this and what do I mean? The reason why I say this is because we know from the data that at least 60% of losses are the result of chromosomal abnormality or neural tube or other type of defect. So at least 60% of losses are the result of abnormality. Okay? There are two other more common causes of miscarriage that cover a lot of the other 40%, and then there are a number of other smaller causes. But the overwhelming majority of miscarriages are the result of abnormality. I hope that was clear. Okay. In addition, not getting pregnant in the first place is usually the result of abnormality as well. Similarly, not having successful IVF or IUI or other intervention is usually the result of abnormality as well. So that looks like several different things in the IVF process, for example. So that looks like having to cancel the IVF because there weren't enough follicles, or having a poor reaction to stimulation or other aspects of the medication, retrieving having too few follicles, retrieving too few eggs, not enough of the eggs fertilized. The fertilized eggs didn't make it to the blastocyst stage. The blastocyst, you made it to the blastocyst stage, but they were submitted for testing, PGA PGTA testing and they came back as chromosomally abnormal, or it was unclear whether they were healthy or not, mosaic. So all of these scenarios share at their root abnormality. So if you are having trouble getting pregnant or staying pregnant, whether naturally or using assisted reproduction, the place to focus is on how can you reduce the odds of abnormality. If you do this one thing, the overwhelming odds are that you will be able to get pregnant, stay pregnant, and have a healthy baby. But this one thing is a big thing. So, how do we do that one thing? And the way that we do that one thing is we focus on age. And for you might be listening right now, like, Dr. C, thanks a lot. All I think about is my age. I'm so worried about my age. Everywhere I go, they tell me I'm too old to have a baby. So why are you telling me this now? But here's the thing, what you just thought of when I said focus on age is your chronological age, your age in number, the number of years you have been earthside, your date of birth. Okay. That is your chronological age. We don't have any control over our chronological age. I'm 45 years old. I'll be 46 this year. I will always be this age in this lifetime. I will always have the same date of birth. I won't always be this age, but I will always have the same date of birth in this lifetime, right? Just like we don't have control over our genes. I will always have the same genes that I was born with. But the beautiful news is that there's another dimension of age, just like there's another dimension of genetics that's even more powerful than chronological age, that's even more powerful than the genes that you inherited and what they put you at risk for or what protections they confer. And that is your biological age, your epigenetic biological reproductive age. That's like your epigenetics. You have the power to shape your biological age. You have the power to shape your epigenetics or your gene expression. So when you are struggling to get pregnant, struggling to stay pregnant, struggling to have a healthy pregnancy, carry that pregnancy to term, and have a healthy baby, focus on this one thing, which is how can I take measures to reduce the odds of abnormality? And if I want to reduce the odds of abnormality, then what I need to do is focus on being as biologically youthful as I possibly can. Even if I'm in my 40s, even if I'm in my 30s. And by the way, also if you're in your 20s, because fertility challenges are growing every single year and they're growing even more in younger age groups than in older age groups, which means that aging, biological aging is happening prematurely. And that's why we're seeing younger people having more fertility challenges, because on the inside, at the biological, epigenetic, reproductive level, a woman in her 20s today is older than her grandmother was at 35. And that's because of the incredible mismatch between our reproductive biology and the modern world that we live in. I've talked about that in lots of places. I won't talk about that today in the interest of time. So we have the ability to shape our biological age, and we have the ability to shape our epigenome. And in fact, addressing our epigenome is the way that we slow and reverse our biological aging to achieve the youngest possible biological age for us, to achieve the lowest risk of abnormality for us. Now, I'm going to stop here for today because I know from experience that if I go much longer, the amount of time of this video will mean that people won't want to stop and watch it. So I'll stop here even though I'm in a zone and this conversation is so important. But I will be back next Thursday at, I think I said 9 a.m. Pacific time, right? So 9 a.m. No, I'm sorry, 10 a.m., not 9. I think I said 9 earlier. 10 a.m. Pacific time. I will be back next Thursday, February 15th, and we will keep talking about how we achieve our most youthful biological age and how we achieve our healthiest genetic expression, our healthiest epigenome. And if you would like to start to take steps, I will send you a free guide, my gift. I have spent so much time creating this for you. Just put fertile in the comments. I will publish this in all the places. Put fertile in the comments, or if you want for privacy, DM me the word fertile and I will send it to you so that you can get started and then meet me back here next Tuesday at 10 a.m. so that we can continue to have this conversation. Oh, mamas who are listening, I'm so sorry. On Instagram, when I publish, your comments will go away. So please wait until I publish and then put fertile there so that your comment doesn't go away so we can see it and we can send it to you. By the way, we're not bots responding to your comments. So you might be used to getting an instantaneous response because people are using a bot to send things to you, but we are actually humans reading your comments and responding to them. So if you don't get a response right away, don't be afraid. We will get through all the comments and we will respond to you. And just give us, sometimes it'll be instantaneous, sometimes it'll be a few minutes, sometimes it'll be the next business day, but just know that we are humans listening, watching, reading, and responding. Okay, I'm sending you so much love. I send you off with super baby dust and wish you a very happy Valentine's Day coming up next Wednesday for those who are celebrating. Um, we've gotten lots of requests for a Valentine's Day gift or special. So we are thinking that through. We didn't have something planned originally, but I am thinking that through for you. So if you are needing help, make sure you let us know by putting fertile so that you will be one of the first people to know when we come up with what we want to create for you for Valentine's Day. Okay. And we'll send you the free gift that I've made for you. Sending you love, warmest wishes, sprinkling super baby dust in your direction. And I'll be back to see you next Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific. That's 1 p.m. Eastern time.